So congratulations on this. It is a fantastic watch. Very well done. What was it about the script
Thanks.
that you wanted to take part of this?
Well, first of all, thanks for saying that. It's really nice. And, anytime you make a movie, man, you put every bit of your soul into something, it's great to hear that someone enjoyed it and had a good time with it. I uh why did I want to make this movie? When I read it, I at first I sort of started to understand where the script was going. I'm like,
Mhm,
okay, I see what this is, and it felt familiar. It felt like, oh, okay, I feel like I've seen something like this before. I feel like I've seen movies like this. But the further I went in, the more I was like, this isn't like anything I've ever really seen before. This is purely unique. And that, Michael Ross did a great job writing the script. Um, and the whole team did a great job developing it. And it just felt like something different. It felt
mhm,
it felt so unique and so well told. When I read it, it really stood out to me. And I read a lot of scripts, and I suspected that cast would be excited about it.
mhm,
Because I was excited about it. And it felt like it had something to say. And so, very quickly we started casting, and we sent it to Anthony Hopkins, like, yeah,
mhm.
that'd be amazing. I'm sure he won't do it, but that'd be amazing. And he got back to us immediately and was like, I love this. And so, I knew that I had found a script that
Mhm,
had real, weight to it and real
mhm,
power to it, to get such a response from him.
Definitely. How much easier does that make your job when you get such creative collaborators from Skarsgård and Sir Anthony Hopkins?
It's it's amazing. I mean, it can be intimidating. You're like, oh wow, I'm working with some of the greatest living actors of all time. There's nothing like, you know, sending a new draft to Anthony Hopkins and going like, I'm sending this to Anthony Hopkins. I hope
Mhm,
he like I hope he likes this. Maybe we should spell check everything again really quick. So it's surreal. And at a certain point though, uh, you have to uh, you have to sort of look at them and go, "Wow, this is amazing. I'm working with some of the most amazing people of all time." And then you have to throw that away and go, "Hey, that's Bill and that's Anthony, and
mhm,
we're making a movie together, and we're partners on this." And they were incredible. They were, without ego, without any of that. They were totally creative collaborators, and it was just amazing to see them work, to learn from them, to see their process. It was awesome. So they're they are where they are because they are so good at what they do.
Definitely. And this movie's intense, and the majority of it takes place in a very confined space inside a car. What
Yeah.
obstacles do you face as a director when you're limited to that small space?
So many. So many. So I'll give you an example of an obstacle.
Mhm,
I want to shoot the movie cinematic. I want to shoot it anamorphic. Anamorphic lenses won't focus typically on things that are closer to the camera than 6 to 9 feet, right?
mhm,
So if I put a camera in a car and it face it at a person, the camera can't focus on them. It's too close to focus on them. So that's an immediate challenge to start with. So we had to rebuild lenses. We had to Panavision like rebuilt reconstructed lenses and design lenses for us to be able to shoot like this. And then we had to build a set that at times could just come apart in pieces so that we could shoot in totally unique ways. I came into this wanting to shoot in a car in ways that had never really been done before. I wanted to create a visual treat as well as, as you described it, like a really tense,
mhm,
a panic attack. Um, and um, and so it was a technical feat to be able to pull it off. It was a creative feat to keep it constantly interesting by finding ways to change the environment, change the surroundings, keeping it visually exciting. And then it was an acting feat that Bill clears by miles,
Hmm.
by just, you know, carrying, like he is just a movie star. You see him and he carries the movie on his back. He's vulnerable. He's scared. He's so grounded. He's heroic. He's just like no one else. I mean, he's incredible.
Definitely. And his expressions just carry the movie. It really brings you into his character, but at the same time, Anthony Hopkins' voice coming out of that speaker, I was expecting a Hannibal-esque type of voice, but there's a clear distinction from it. How do you, you know, how do you direct somebody like Anthony Hopkins and bring out a different side of his voice?
Well, that's a great question. And when we first sat down to talk, before we sent it to him, really, I was
Mhm,
scrolling his Instagram, and his Instagram is so, it's not the Shakespearean scholar
mhm,
you would expect, right? It's so playful and fun. And it's a reminder that people are so many different things, you know?
mhm,
We're not, we sum everyone up as this one thing, but we're dynamic. We have so many, we're all Hamlet in a way, right?
mhm.
So, so you know, he, so I sat down with him and we, started talking, and both of us sort of agreed we didn't want just a Hannibal clone.
Mhm.
We didn't want to go that way. We wanted to bring in a new kind of villainy, and I really wanted to bring out that fun, playful side. I mean, William is someone who's, I guess I don't want to spoil much about his character, but
Mhm.
I think he's really enjoying what he's doing. Let's say that, and he's unhinged. And there's certainly a component about this that is wish fulfillment for him.
Mhm.
And so I wanted it to be that level of playful and that kind of fun. And like I think you see in the trailer, he tases Bill and then
Mhm.
gleefully laughs about it. And that's the sort of, and the audience laughs with him. That you're sort of, you're on his side a bit at times, because this is, Eddie has done something bad. He's broken into a car, and he should be punished a little. And so you're with him a little. So we talked a lot about morality, about William, about his motivation, about all that stuff, and all in the aim of creating something completely unique and distinct, and create a villain you've never seen before.
He's definitely a very fun, energetic villain. For you, William in this movie fulfills a little bit of his dreams. How many bucket list items did you cross off your directorial list?
Oh, that's a great question. A lot, man. And uh yeah, it's surreal. You come out of yourself a little bit when you're making these, when you're doing this, because for most of it, you're just doing the work.
Mhm,
You're like, I represent the movie.
mhm,
My job is to say, hey, I think this is what's best for the movie, and push that forward. But every once in a while, I'm not the director, I'm Dave, and I
mhm.
come out of myself and I look at the people I'm surrounded by, that I'm fortunate enough to be surrounded by, and the team that I'm working with. And I feel so fortunate to be in that position, to have that opportunity to be in that position. I mean, it's not just a dream come true. It's a life of moving towards making that dream a reality and then seeing it come true. That's what it is. And I'm talking about from the time I was 5 years old, and I couldn't physically carry the VHS camera
Mhm.
that my dad bought, so he would move it around for me so I could push record and shoot things. I mean, and since that moment, I've been working and making little shorts and making little movies, and then shooting music videos and shooting commercials and going to acting class to learn to talk to actors, and
Mhm.
going to lectures and going to writing classes to learn write. It's been a lifelong journey to get to this point. So it's 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 wild. It's wild.
Definitely. And, congratulations. You made a fantastic film.
Thanks.
And, thank you for your time.
Th- Thank you. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I cannot stress that enough, man. Everyone involved This one was, we it's an indie movie, we didn't
Mhm.
have a big studio, financing it or throwing money at problems. It was a small group of us, and we huddled together, and we made this thing because we love it and we believe in it.
Awesome. It definitely shows. And thank you once again.
Thanks.